and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, good evening, everyone. Just as a reminder, the meetings are now recorded and archived on our YouTube page. Recognition of our guests who are not a part of the public hearing. So if there's anyone who is not on the agenda for a public hearing, please let me know if you plan on speaking. Okay, then we will move to our public hearing portion of the meeting. Let me read a little bit in terms of context before we open up the public hearing officially. So this is a public hearing for public testimony regarding teacher compensation. The public testimony should only relate to matters of collective bargaining. The board will listen to testimony, and as the board's representative, I will likely not comment or answer on any direct questions. Any commentary should be directed to the board chair. Public testimony could be written or oral this evening. Any oral comments will be kept to around 3 minutes by individual parties. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing officially?
I motion to open the public hearing for public testimony regarding teacher compensation.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Amy. Any discussion? Hearing none. Those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. All right, the public hearing is officially open at 7:01. Is there anybody who would like to go first? Or you want me to go through the?
I'll go first.
Let's do it. Thank you.
I'm only going first because they told me I had to. So I'm going first. And because it's recorded, I felt like I needed to speak it, so I'm going to. Okay, so hello, my name is Tina Stacy, and I'm the Vice President of Bargaining for the Culver Community Teachers Association. I'm here tonight because of Indiana Code 2029-61 that states there must be a public hearing before the official bargaining can begin. So I just wanted to speak on the process of the bargaining team so far and like all the things that we've considered. So I wanted to present an honest view of where I see all of us who cares about the school because it's a strange time. Schools like ours are being vilified as the root of society's problems. Teachers and their unions are not exempt from that opinion. As a school going into referendum, these philosophies definitely make us concerned about the future. This school board, the teachers I represent, everyone knows this place is pretty special. We've seen how Karen Schumann has worked to stabilize and repair this corporation. We know the school board members are present in our community. We see you guys all the time and you're working for the people. And nearly every teacher has at the tip of their tongue literal miracles we've seen with our team's work. And perhaps I think the highest compliment for our school is that we see graduates come back now as service-minded teachers, ready to help us do what we did for them. So I just wanted to point out all of that because CCTA had it with them when they began work this spring to prepare for bargaining. As a bargaining team, we had many meetings and hours of work. We worked to discuss all the issues facing our school so we could narrow down what specifically we needed to address at bargaining. We listened, understood, and addressed the teachers' concerns regarding the teaching contract. We compiled and evaluated the Culver School's finances to ensure we work together to maintain financial stability and to seek and learn about the contracts of other schools to ensure the corporation grows on skilled teachers. Our team has put in many of hours to get things done right and to be prepared for negotiations because we respect the people and the process. We know we all want the same things for the kids we work for. We truly have appreciated the willingness and open nature of the discussions we've already had with our admin and teachers. I tried to keep this short, but I just felt it was important to publicly lay this out. We do have a few more people who want to present on topics relating to CCSC, and I want to thank you for giving them your time as you've just given me.
Thank you, Tina. You want to follow?
I'll go. Okay, I'll go.
Thanks, Janet.
Yeah. Hi, guys.
I'm Janet Baker, second grade teacher, CCTA member, discussions chair, and also a member of our bargaining team. I just wanted to add my 2 cents about how important the collective bargaining process is to teachers, to our school corporation, and to our community as a whole. I don't think I'm overstating it when I say the cost of just about everything is on the rise, from food and gas prices to utilities to property taxes. I live right here on Main Street, just down the street in a 100-year-old house. My NIPSCO bill just went up by a couple $100. I hear the town is raising its water rates, and my property taxes have gone up 97% since 2021. I also have to replace my furnace and my air conditioner this week. So, which means my budget is incredibly tight. It's becoming harder and harder to live here. But we all know that it's a boost to everyone's sense of community when families run into teachers at Park and Shop, at the library, at Lake Fest, at Fall Fest, at the dollar store. It's great to have to stop and chat with families and see how they're doing. And when kids see their teachers all over town or just walking around, it really helps to solidify that sense of community that we all have together. We're all working toward the same thing. So negotiating a contract that not only pays teachers what we're worth as educated, dedicated professionals and makes it possible for us to live in the town where we work is vitally important. And by continuing to offer competitive salaries and benefits, we can attract and keep high-quality teachers who become invested in our community. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that Culver schools are the heart of our town, and it's in all of our interests to make sure that we're working together to keep it that way. Helping teachers afford to live where they work, and by encouraging them to stay, to build relationships, and to strengthen our community over time. The collective bargaining process is the way to make that happen for all of us. And with that being said, I look forward to working with you over the coming weeks. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. My name is Mike Bushman. I feel like I'm here almost as just a general representative. I am on the bargaining team. I'm a classroom teacher over here, but I also have kids in the school. I'm a graduate from here. I live in the community as Janet does, and I care about what goes on around here. And one of the things that I know has been common through our text messages amongst each other, and I know Janet spoke to it, I'm going to speak to it. I don't know if anybody else probably feels the same way. This word community keeps coming up, community, community, community. And that's one of the things that, and not my formal part yet, but one of the things that I was thinking and I couldn't find a way to work it in is one of my favorite things that's happened around here in the last 5 years is us establishing ourselves as the community. And I hope if nothing else, it happens and we continue down that road. One of the biggest advantages to working in a small school is a sense of belonging to a community. In order for that to happen, we need to retain a consistent slate of employees, and at the top of that list is necessary consistency is our teaching staff. Culver Community Schools have recently had one of the most competitive compensation packages in the area, and we hope the upcoming contract will continue that standard via pay, insurance benefits, and retirement plans. Teachers in our corporation have been sent the message that they are valued professionals. This has allowed us to have a relatively stable roster of teachers throughout the last few years, which in turn has allowed parents and students to have a consistent set of expectations in our classrooms. That consistency is crucial to establishing a sense of community in our schools. Whether or not parents and students agree with what we do in our classrooms, one thing that everyone craves in the school is predictability. The CCTA has been very grateful to the board and administration for helping us maintain that predictability by providing financially competitive work opportunities. We're very eager to work together to continue the standard for our upcoming contract and to continue to provide a cohesive school community for our families.
Thanks, Mike.
Well, I am not. I am pregnant. I forgive. My baby's a little crazy right now, so see that, I apologize. My name's Elena Schneider. I'm not a part of the bargaining committee. I am the 7th grade English teacher, and I just got through my first year teaching at Culver. I graduated from Culver in 2020. Crazy year. I came back and I was so grateful to work in a school like Culver. Culver is phenomenal. I love the sense of community we all have here as teachers in the community. What is really interesting is as I went through college, my colleagues, many of them quit because they saw that the compensation was not sustainable for raising families. I have a 19-year-old toddler at home. Clearly, I didn't expect it to happen. Oh, yes, I'm sorry, yes, I apologize, yes. I have a toddler, tiny toddler. I also have another daughter due in October. And what my husband and I have realized is that one, thank goodness we both work relatively decent jobs because we would be screwed if not. But also, a lot of my colleagues have quit the teaching profession in just their first year because they're realizing that other opportunities pay more. And we've gone through the 4 years of college, we've gone through the certifications, and we're continuing our education. I'm pursuing my master's degree. But the overall compensation is an issue not just in the state of Indiana, but nationwide. And I think it's really important to work in a community that supports teachers like you guys do, because that's how we entice and retain amazing teachers. And those teachers are going to help our students and our parents want to retain the community. And if our community dies, as we've seen so often in the state of Indiana, we're just going to be another ghost town. So I'm really grateful to work in a place that wants to sustain a vibrant, loving community that supports teachers and students and parents.
Thank you, Elena. Any additional comments for our public hearing? Okay. The board certainly looks forward to our opportunity to meet and bargain with CCTA as well. Thank you for your representation here tonight. I will ask for a motion to close the public hearing.
I'm going to close the public hearing, please. Second.
Thanks, Jack. Thanks, Matt. Having a proper motion and second, any discussion? Hearing none. Those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. The public hearing is officially closed at 7:12.
JD, who made the motion?
Jack did.
And then Matt seconded.
He did.
I had it reversed.
All right. Our guests are welcome to hang out for the rest of the meeting. You're also welcome to move on to your next thing if you so choose tonight.
I'll take it on
Hey, Mike.
Enjoy the meeting, folks.
Okay, so is there any additional audience preparation or participation? All right, well, we're going to continue then what the board has asked Brett and Erica and Karen to think about in their admin meetings where we're talking more about student outcomes. And so we've had a number of opportunities to hear more about those. And tonight, I believe Erica and Brett are going to share a little bit about individual student outcomes. And so we look forward to hearing from that. You all can take it from here and we'll go and probably have a couple of questions when you're done.
Who gets to look at you?
Hopefully it works. All right, so as we have been working, we want to share some of the highlights that we had from the school year. Academic highlights, there's all sorts of things that we could talk about, other great things that are happening in classrooms and with our teachers and our students. But we are fairly data driven and we were really excited about what we saw this year. So we're going to share just some highlights throughout the year, the growth that our students made and the hard work our teachers put in. So this first graph you're looking at is our iLearn results for the school year. It has been a really, really long time since we could sit and say every single one of our subjects and every one of our grade levels have been above state average. And we were able to do that this year. So we're super excited. Our third grade English scores were at 64% proficient. The state average was at 40%. Our third grade math scores were at 67% proficient. The state average was 51%. And that was just echoed throughout. Fourth grade ELA was at 46%. The state average was 42%. Their math scores were at 56%. The state average was 50%. And fifth grade was the same thing. We had 3 brand new teachers in fifth grade this year. And that's hard. It's real hard. So the work they put in, it did not go unnoticed. Their ELA scores were at 50% proficient. The state average was 41%. and their math scores were at 44% proficient, and the state average was 42. So that was something for us to really celebrate this year, in particular, because they worked hard. We did have the iLearn checkpoints this year, which kind of gave us some points to see where we are kind of going through, and that was turned out to be really, really helpful. We're glad that we jumped on board with that pilot. It gave us some benchmarks throughout the year to say, hey, this is a group of students that we need to get a little boost, and our teachers, our intervention teachers worked really hard to help the teachers work with that. Our iRead scores, I know we kind of touched base a little bit when we talked about summer school. So this is the class of 2035. They are second grade students. We were at 49% pass rate. We had 45% at risk and 5% on track. And I know a question kind of came up when we were doing summer school, are we worried about this? So if we look, I have our third grade, you want to go to the next one. I'm not worried about this at all. So that little graph up there in the corner was our third grade students. That's where they were at as second graders. So they were second graders last year. They were at 54% passing, 29, about 30% of them were at risk, and 15% were on track. And we have passed 97% of our third graders. So we had one little one who came to us this year speaking no English, and she was so close to passing, but she didn't quite get there. So super excited. We were able to turn that kind of 50% into 97%. The state's goal for us is 95%, so we've exceeded that as well. Then I wanted to throw in there a little bit of iReady. iReady is another progress monitoring tool that we use. It happens 3 times throughout the school year, and it's for our kindergarten through 5th grade students. So our teachers spend a lot of time using iReady. There's diagnostic assessments 3 times a year, and it gives us interventions and pathways for our students in different ways that we can help them grow to get where they need to be throughout the end of the year. And this gives us a really good growth measure for us, for all of our students, where iLearn would just be 3rd through 5th grade. We can get all the way down there to our little ones. So it's our school-wide kind of snapshot of iReady growth throughout the year. If you look, the green hash marks are our students who are mid or above grade level, just the green bar is who is on grade level. So we want, ideally everybody would be green, right? But we grew that bar quite a bit this year. Our yellow bar is 1 grade level behind. The solid color red would be two grade levels behind, and the slash marks are 3 or more grade levels behind. So as a school, we were down to 7% of our school in the red, which is 2 or more grade levels behind. At the beginning of the school year, we're at 22% of those students. So we brought a lot of those kids up. 44% of our students were mid or above grade level, which was up from 10% at the beginning of the school year. And we had 24% of our students in the yellow, which is 1 grade level behind, which is down from 52%. So we spent a lot of time moving those kids in the right direction throughout this year. Those were our ELA, or our reading scores. This is gonna match the same graph, same ideas for our math scores. Some highlights from there. We had 6% in the red, which that combined 2+ grade levels behind, which was down from 26%. And we were up to 61% of our students in the green, which was up from 16%. And 36% of our students were mid or above grade level, which was up from 4%. Our math curriculum is iReady as well. It mirrors the same program, so we're really able to take a look at what those priority standards are and target those things. So we were really excited to see that growth throughout the year as well.
Any questions or follow-up for Erica? Oh, sorry, were you going to the next thing?
I sent this to Karen. We just kind of, I didn't know she was putting it in there.
That's not
No,
right,
this is, we talked about not sharing this, but it's, I'm sorry, I had to. Karen put it in there, and now Brett's gonna be mad at me. Darn it. So comparison, this is our I learned proficiency. Brett and I always kind of compile. He's got it too. He's just gonna pull it up real fast. It's gonna be fine. But it's kind of where our students compare, or how Culver compares to some of the area schools. So we take a look at kind of the 10, 11 area schools that are nearby us. We put the state average in there as well. And we always love to see us up at the top there. So that top row there is our 3rd grade students. You can see it compared to the area schools around us. Reading, we were well above there, 8% above the next school behind us. And for math, Bremen was 0.3. I mean, it had been like a fraction of a student ahead of us. Just, you know, a big toe or something, I'm not sure. It was, I'm sure it was. So 4th grade, we are very proud to be up there, up at the top as well. Again, above state average in all those areas. Knox and Triton just above us in ELA, not by much. And math was the same thing.
That column on the right, what does that mean exactly? Can you explain that? What is the percent of?
That's the percentage of our students who are at proficiency for iLearn. They passed iLearn.
So, don't you want it to be like 100?
I would love it to be 100. Yes, that would be wonderful. Yes.
I mean, yeah, we're up there, but.
Mhm.
But when you look at the state average,
So,
the state's only 40%.
well,
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I'd love it to be 100 as well.
but,
That's what the problem with the assessments are. I mean, think of that. So every kid in the state of Indiana is taking it, and the average is 41%, which would be
41.
Yeah.
So obviously you got, at some point as a teacher, if that happened in your classroom, you say, what did I do wrong, right? Or what do I need to do? Do I need to change the assessment? Something to make it fix.
okay.
Still hasn't happened yet, right? Because it's been this way for how many years has it been?
I know, but, and.
Since I stepped, I believe.
And,
So
no, and I appreciate that you put the other schools in there so that we could get.
So you can see,
clarity.
and that's
Yeah,
what's
right.
nice too, right?
You know.
So like looking at 4th grade, ELA there, like up in LaVille, only a quarter of those students passed that assessment, you know? So
Mhm.
we had twice as many as them, which is nice.
Yeah.
Nice to look at. But I agree,
Exactly.
I'd love them all to be there.
Right, and
Uh-huh,
your other slide showing the progress, that's phenomenal.
that's all we can do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So our 5th grade is right there too. We're above state average, brand new teachers, they know exactly what they need to do to keep climbing up on those things too. They'll be in next week working on it.
Anything else for Erica?
Good job.
Did we give Brett enough time to pull up his comparison chart?
Oh, I sent it to
I
her.
know, talk about it.
You see the bus just drive by and run me over? Yeah, we're ready for it.
When you ride home, Brett slash retires.
We want that one to be second anyway, so it's all good.
Hopefully it shows up by the time.
I don't want to wow you with bar graphs and circle graphs and stuff like that, so I did it old school style and just did more of a chart style for you, so don't worry. I'll get through it pretty quickly that way. A lot of the things that Erica talked about, I'll talk about after I do the middle school scores, this talking about, I guess, the reasons why typically the years past, if you remember, when we looked at Culver Middle School, high school scores, we didn't really want to talk about scores. They weren't very good. It was always in the 20s and 30s. We weren't growing very much. If you remember our school improvement plan, it's try to grow 5% every single year. So that's what I'm going to kind of talk to you about a lot is our school improvement plan, the 5%, and then where we're at state average wise. And honestly, we had a lot to celebrate this year, which was amazing. I haven't been able to say that in the past. And this year, our teachers, especially the ones behind me here tonight, know it just as well. We celebrated the last day of school because some of these scores, they did a great job. So I'm going to start with our iLearn math scores on the left there. In our 6th grade, we had 44% of our students proficient or pass it. The state average was at 39%, so that's the first time we've ever been above state average. So that was a nice score for us. And then last year, that same class scored 37%. So that class grew by 7% and beat the state average. So that was a huge positive for us for our 6th graders entering in. For the 7th grade math scores, we were only at 23% passing. The state average is at 36. Last year, we're at 24.6. So that's probably about one student who did not pass it compared to last year. So Erica knows this. We've talked about, honestly, the 7th grade class has been a tough class to get to grow and do things. I'll talk a little bit about that later, but at the same rate, that's a class that we are going to obviously focus on as 8th graders coming up. And then 8th grade math, obviously Maggie's involved behind me, Todd Schaefer just as well. They had 38% of their students pass. State average was 34, so we got the state average, which was awesome. Last year, they were 19.5, so they doubled up. So, I mean, that is awesome stuff there. So to grow by more than 5% and get the state average is very pleasing. So that was excellent scores for us for iLearn Math that we were very, very proud of. iLearn ELA scores, 6th grade was at 41%. State average is 41%, so we hit that standard, which was great. Last year, they were at 44%. So again, that's 1 to 2 students who did not pass compared to last year. So that's what obviously we'll be focusing on with that class. As of right now, and I don't know if I imagine Erica might be, could be not speak for in the same spot. Right now, we're just looking at overall numbers. When it comes to the fall, we start getting individuals, and the teachers break down the individual scores and see what did they do and how can we do interventions with them to improve. So this is just overall scores right now. 7th grade ELA, Alina behind me is obviously involved with this one. They had 32% pass. State average is 38. Last year they had 24. So we didn't hit the state average, but we had about 8% of that class growth. So we would have hit our school improvement mark with that one. So that is a great job there. And then 8th grade English, Liz Patera, who's obviously no longer with us, resigned, is at 34%. State average is at 43. They're at 22.8. So they grew about 11% there just as well. If you guys remember, usually Liz, and I'll say this for her, every year is about that 44, 45% mark. It was a rough year. A lot of attendance was gone. Her husband passed away. I imagine you guys knew that just as well. So that was a lot of time gone, but still to grow by 11% was amazing for that class. So very, very proud of what they did for that. I will jump to the iLearn Science to the right, just because it deals with 6th grade a little bit, then I'll jump back down, sorry. iLearn Science for 6th grade, we really don't have a comparison because it's a standalone. They take it in 6th grade and they take it in 9th grade. For that, for the 6th grade, we had 49% of our students pass, only the state only had 43. So that was very nice to see that we were above state average there. High school biology, we're at 45% passing, and the state was at 46, so we're right at that same level. That is probably the highest biology scores that we've had in many, many, many years. So those were, again, a great job by the staff there. If you go down to the left, please. I'm just gonna talk a little bit about maybe the reasons why that we're getting some of this improvement that we feel. This year, if you remember us talking about the double block for English and math, so now students in middle school are getting 2 periods of English and math besides just 1. We feel that's obviously helped us tremendously. That first block is focused on grade level standards, and Erica kind of talked about the interventions with iReady. That second block is more built for interventions. How can we improve it? If they're 2 grade levels behind us, how can we get them caught up? So that is that second block. We do the iReady pathways as the elementary does for English and math during that second block. The English had to fight a new English curriculum. So that was obviously a part of it just as well that we feel maybe helped with some of those scores. Second semester, we had a common prep where teachers were able to meet 4 to 5 times a week, have a period to talk, discuss data, discuss lesson plans, and they also met with Tim Doherty. And Tim does an amazing job. He's worth probably all these scores, and their work with Tim's work has made everything a big difference. So we're super excited to see what next year brings after kind of getting that initial year for us to see how much we're going to grow. So we think, those things there really helped us with our test scores.
Brett, before we move on,
Yes.
when you said common prep, teachers behind you all shook their head like, that helps.
Yeah.
So can we sustain that? Is that something that we have the resources and capability to continue to offer?
So in the middle of the year, Karen did a great job doing this, her and Missy, and at that time, Becky Hook worked with our schedule to make it an 8-period day in the middle school. And that's why we shifted from 7 periods to 8 periods to give them that common prep. So it's going to be sustained. Our goal now is kind of look, can we do it for the high school level? Can we find the common prep for them to kind of continue on this? So that's our next progress with it. But right now for the middle school, absolutely. As long as we keep our teachers and all the teachers we have, yes. I'll throw that one back in, sorry. You're welcome. All right, so now we'll go back to the right. Back to the right, and I'll do some high school level stuff. Typically, obviously, we just talk about iLearn scores. So in the high school level, there's 2 state testing. It's SAT as a junior. Every junior must take it, whether they're going on to college or not. And obviously, the SAT is there. Really, it's a college predictor to get you into colleges. So I don't want to say it's unfair. It's fair, obviously, but a lot of our kids, it doesn't mean much to them because they know at that time as a junior, what their pathway is. If they're going to college or not, if they're going to college, they're going to take it serious. If they're not going to college, they're probably not going to put much stock into it. So these scores kind of just hit and miss. Our English department, Tina's a part of that, and our math, Mike Bushman was part of. They're looking at resources to try to increase this, because obviously we want the best scores possible for our kids who are going on to the secondary level. So for our English department, or our English side of the SAT, we had 35% of our students pass it, so to speak, with the score. 54% is the state average. Our math is at 13.2, and the state average is at 25. So obviously math is very, very difficult. Part of that, obviously English is just as well. So that's where we are there. We've hovered. Last year we were a little bit better in the English side. We had a couple more students pass that. Math kind of hovered in that area. So they're looking for resources. We're looking for things to try to improve that. AP scores, super proud of this year. Chemistry is our first year teacher with Alexis Stone. She was on maternity leave a little bit, so that probably helped though. I mean, the teacher was really, really good, I think, for those 9 weeks. Maybe, I don't know. So our average at that time is, for our entire class, we had 11 students in that. We had 1.6. The state average is 3.2. And then they give this little predictor of how many students got 3, 4s, or 5s. So if you usually get a 3, 4, or 5 in the AP, you're getting college credit for that. We didn't have any of our students in chemistry score a 3, 4, or 5, and the state average, honestly, is about 75%. Then we jump down to calculus. Mr. Bushman teaches this, so I'm sorry he's not here to hear this, but we had an average of 2.8, very close to the state average of 3.2. 40% of our kids scored 3 or higher, which is awesome. The state average is 64. I kind of put on the left side the 2 students, Graham Baker, obviously Janice scored a 5 on calculus, which is the highest you can get, which is awesome. And then obviously he was our salutatorian, and then Katie, our valedictorian, scored a 4. So those are 2 impressive scores with calculus. If you think of calculus and how hard it is, I don't know how they did it, but they did a fantastic job. And then Mike Bushman also does our pre-calculus. Our average was 3.2 on that. The state average is 3.5. The state average for 3 or higher is at 80. We had all of our kids score over 3s on that test. And that is Braden Keller scored a 4, which is awesome. Caleb and Jonas McEwen scored 3s. Emily Hawkins 3, and Isaiah Bella scored 3. So that entire class did an amazing job. So those are great scores to celebrate overall.
Do you have an idea off the top of your head of the class size of pre-cal chemistry?
5. So 5 kids for calculus, 5 kids for pre-cal. And that's probably where we hover. Pre-cal will probably be more because it's junior level, but by the time they get to seniors, there's only so many that wants to stick it out and take it, and it's usually about 5. Chemistry and biology are usually our higher of the 2. They usually get the 11s, the 15s.
Before Brett moves to the comparison chart that we're awaiting, any questions or comments about his charts?
The comparison chart, the one we didn't know. Okay. So this is for iLearn for 6th grade, 7th, and 8th grade. So I'll do 6th grade first. So obviously it's a new class to us. I don't remember where they compared last year to it, but overall, obviously we have 11, 12 schools that we compare it to were above state average in both, and obviously in the top half for 6th grade. So very pleased where they ranked with that. You can see some of those. We could jump to 7th grade real quick. So 7th grade last year, just to give you where it's at, we were dead last in the area with their scores. And you'll see, obviously, with the English side, I think that's English on the left, or is that? Yeah. English side, they jumped up from last, a couple spots up, and then even math jumped up a spot. So even though we weren't to the state average, we actually did pass up some of the schools that we were. And obviously 8th grade, honestly, we were 10th and last in both of those. And you'll kind of see what happened with that. So obviously English, we honestly jumped up 1 spot for that, not last and then more. And then on the right-hand side, 8th grade, like I said, the math doubled up, and then they jumped all the way up many spots there. So they did a great job improving from going dead last to up above. So those are.
Saying that is then the 7th graders, they were dead last, and this is what they are as 8th graders.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yep.
The cohort group.
Yep. Those are my comparison charts.
Any comments or questions for Brett?
I find it interesting, just looking at some of the other area schools and where you look at their middle school and then, or the elementary school that Erica had provided, and then some of these here and they're reversed too.
Mm-hmm.
But I just find that interesting, and I'm like, okay, what, because they take the pedal off? Because they're passing in elementary, I don't know, but
Yeah, and obviously, usually when we talk about middle school, high school, the curriculum, not that it's not hard in elementary, but the higher you go, it is so difficult to do, and the math is, well, I hate as a parent, the math is different. It's different from what it was, and it becomes more difficult to do. But I think that's why we do the comparisons to say, okay, what do those scores really mean? How are we comparing in the area? And we know where we have to focus. So hopefully, again, with the things that we're doing in the schedule and things we're doing with teachers, hopefully those just keep increasing and we don't mess up what she's bringing to us.
I think this is probably the group of students that was most impacted with being out of school for COVID too.
Could be, yeah.
You learn your learning habits and homework habits and all of that while actively being in school. And if you think, go back 4 or 5 years.
That's going into 6th grade will be those COVID kindergartners.
Yes. So, I mean, we're still playing a little catch up.
And I want to give credit to us doing the iLearn pilots, and that the teachers were able to use that data to drive that individualized instruction during that block. And I think that makes a huge difference in our comparison, because not every school around us did the iLearn pilot or use that data or had the double block. So those are 2 things that now we're a year ahead, hopefully, and being able to perfect those things just a little bit more for next school year.
All right, thank you again. Sometimes as board members, we just think so much about finances, operations, personnel, and it's so helpful to hear our student outcomes as it relates to our strategic plan. And you all are putting time into preparing this, so thank you for doing that, representing your teachers and your buildings. So thank you for that time. Karen, you want to drive a little bit on consent items?
Sure. All right, so we have tonight's agenda, the minutes from the June 16th board meeting, payroll and accounts payable vouchers for both of June and some of July, and June financials for approval. No field trips at this time, no professional leave requests at this time. We have some resignations, elementary secretary, high school English, bus driver, and a elementary aide. Emily Woodward is asking for a maternity leave. And then we have some hires of Matt Carter to replace Mike Garland as building maintenance supervisor. Owen Valakwa is here tonight, and he is coming on to replace Alex Meese. And then we have our fall sports coaches for both football, volleyball, cross country, golf for approval. And then we missed Mark Samuelson as a baseball coach, so that's a approval that's already needs to occur. We replaced 2 custodians at the elementary, and they have started this week, along with, we have some 3 bus drivers who will be starting with us in mid-August. And then corrections to 2 contracts, Mr. Zanners and Mr. Martins.
I move to approve the consent item as presented.
Thanks, Mark.
I'll second.
Thanks, Teresa. Having a proper motion second, is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Consent items carry 7-0. Action item A.
So we have first read of a special July 2025 policy update. A lot of these are related to dress code, attendance, immunizations, just some cleaning the house type things as far as policies. So those are the first read of those, and we will, any changes you would like, just let me know and I'll have them ready for the second read at the next board meeting in August.
Thanks, Karen.
And we have a fund transfer resolution. This is an annual looking at counts, and one count we're looking at, not that this happens every year, but we look at them at this time of year. I should correct that statement.
This is the cafeteria one.
Correct. So, go ahead, Casey. I'll let him say it.
Let me just take that one over for you. If you recall, back in December, our cafeteria fund was negative, and we did a temporary 6-month loan from a rainy day fund to the cafeteria, which they did repay in this full 6 months. Once we closed June, they still had a negative balance. So we needed another resolution to transfer from rainy day to cafeteria, and then they have 6 months to repay us. So we have the payment plan and the resolution. But I also want to let you know that Karen and I did meet with our food service director today, and we have a plan and some ideas on how to improve and get us out of the negative and back into the positive. So we're working on it.
I move to approve the resolution for fund transfer.
Thanks, Terry. Second. Thanks, Jack. Have a proper motion and second. Is there any additional discussion? Is there a driver of why the negative is coming? Like, is there one or two, like, drivers?
Well, the main thing is the cost of food.
Sure.
The cost of food, and we did not lose money by offering the free breakfast. What's happening is the student count accepting the free breakfast has strongly declined versus when it was a pay breakfast. So we have a plan on how to improve that for our students, because that's money the government will reimburse us. The federal government will reimburse us. We already, if you recall, we already talked about using trucks for negative meal accounts. So that was something we discussed. And then we also kind of revamped salaries and benefits, how many positions are needed, how many full-time, how many part-time. So I think we have a good plan in place.
Also, she did a lot of upgrading of equipment and the food service lines all last school year, and all that is out of that fund. It's not corporation operation funds that supply that. So she budgeted those on the same numbers of kids eating the same meals and having that same surplus to be able to generate the payment of those items, and it just didn't happen with the free breakfast for some reason. We need to get those numbers up. So we're looking at making sure that every student gets breakfast and get those reimbursable numbers.
Thanks for that additional context. Any additional discussion? All right, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign.
I want to give you a quick award to her, though. She was recognized for her summer food program. Our food service program was recognized. It's called the Turn Up the Beat Award, and it means that they were using local grown foods and using those fresh foods to provide nutritious meals to students. So there's a state representative that comes to our actual field site where she's serving students meals this summer, and they look at the meal and they look at the turnout, and she was awarded a silver award for that program. So she's making about 130 meals to be delivered every Friday for students. So I want to give her those kudos too.
Yeah, I talked last week and she showed me the letter. She's like, here, read this. She had just gotten it. She's like, this is so. I'm like, that is really exciting. It is.
Next item is cancel check resolution for those. Do I go ahead and speak to this one? I can just feel the vibe.
No,
I know. I was like,
this is for ECA accounting software. This is just for ECA checks only. She does her cancellation checks in June. Corporation, we do ours in December. So any check that is 2 years or more that has not been cashed per state statute, we are allowed to reverse and cancel those checks.
I'll move to approve resolution for checks cancellation.
Thanks, Jack. Thanks, Teresa. Have a proper motion and second. Is there any additional discussion on the check cancellation? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Action item carries 7-0.
Tonight is also the time we always approve student handbooks for the upcoming school year. So those changes and the new handbooks have been shared with you. I don't know if you just want to have them speak to those changes, or.
I appreciate the summary of the changes we asked for last time. So this, in my opinion, is streamlining the whole conversation. But other board members, if you have specifics. Thank you for the addition of the AA policy and the additional, the summary that you all put in there. So appreciate that. Can you tell us, Brett, about the new diploma, 42 credits? I didn't understand how it's 2 more credits than it looks really complicated than.
It's not super complicated. They're just adding more classes that you have to have in. So financial literacy was one of them. They're bringing back speech just as well. So they're doing just different things with it. Now, the biggest thing they're doing is adding seals. It's very similar to what we've done with honors diploma, technical diploma. It's very similar, but now they're just calling it seals and seals plus, where you could do different things to get a seal that's to be recognized by employment, enlistment, or enrollment. So.
I'm sorry, there's not a motion.
We got an experienced group, they'll figure it out.
I move to approve the student handbooks.
Thanks, Teresa.
I second.
Thanks, Amy. Having a proper motion second, is there any additional discussion on the handbooks? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Action item carries 7-0. Library appointment?
So the Fulton County Library for the Abenaki Library Board, actually, I'm sorry, just the Fulton County Library Board, to appoint Emily Fountain into that position. She's already had the position, so it's a renewal.
I move to approve Fulton County Library appointment to Emily Scott.
Second. Thanks, Joe. Having a proper motion second, any additional discussion? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign.
JD, I apologize. Who seconded that?
Jack did. Sorry, I didn't speak loud enough.
Speak up, Jack.
That action item carries 7-0. ECA financials.
So this is just for your review, and we do this every semester, the review of the financials from the extracurricular accounts at both buildings.
Per state statute, ECA is required to share their semester financials with the board. No motion is needed. If you do have any additional questions, please let Christy Havron know.
Well, what is the class of 2025 receipt, $15,000?
These are questions for Christy Havron. She has her own, we use the same accounting software, but she has her own program that just deals with all of ECA. I'm going to assume if it's like previous, it's donations that have been awarded directly to that class to use at their will.
Then clear things up for me.
Happy to talk to you.
And that's where it's just for review, which is why you can ask any questions to Christy, because it's not, there's no good be no motion.
Oh, no, I understand
Yeah.
that. It's just, I'm just seeing these numbers. Okay.
Anything else on knowing that we're going to talk to Christy Havron if you have any questions? All right. Mark, you can report back to us. Karen, you're up.
Just reminding September 15th and 16th, if anyone didn't let me know whether they were going or not. If you haven't let me know, I will go ahead and register those who have let me know tomorrow. Okay. And then I will also email those people about the 2 options for dinner at that event that are provided by sponsors. And then I already gave you the announcement of the silver award. And I wanted to make sure delegate assembly, Jack? Are you delegate?
Sure.
I thought so.
I can't remember if I was or not.
Yeah, and then you'll be attending the delegate thing. Okay.
They moved it. It's a neat.
It's not a breakfast, I don't
It's not
believe.
what it says. Yeah, I don't have, but were you complaining about breakfast too? Nothing good.
And that's, yep. I think so, yep. That's all I have.
Thanks, Karen. Casey, anything additional?
Yeah, I'd like to update the board and let you all know that I have a proposed budget that I worked on. And then last Thursday for half the day, Marvin Ward, our financial advisor, we went through this proposed budget and did some tweaks. However, we know there's going to be some additional tweaks needed in regards to some salaries and benefits. So it's not 100% completed, but the majority of it is. So all deadlines will be met on a timely fashion. And then I wanted to update you on the 2024 bond. We still have quite a bit of encumbrances in regards to the football field, press box, the elementary bell system, track, boilers, doors, locks, chillers, baseball field, air handlers. So there's still a lot of that outstanding. The board has already approved those projects, and those purchase orders are submitted, and they're being worked on, and payment plans are being sent to us for payment. So after your encumbrances and after what has been spent so far, we had a bond of 3.6 million, and we currently have a balance of unencumbered 1.5 million. And as we get closer and get some of these closer to being paid off, I'm sure Karen will present some new projects for you to review. And then my final update is the 2023 bond. That has been used in full. All of those projects are completed, etc. If you recall that bond, we had a third party with Bank of New York. We have a balance in that account of roughly $5,100. I'm going to have that account closed, and we're going to put those funds in our debt service fund to help go towards lease and bond and interest payments. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Any board reports or comments, Mark?
I just want to thank all the teachers and administration for the numbers are great, but it's the commitment, the hard work and dedication to the students really makes it happen. So thank you.
Anything from you tonight?
I have 2 things.
Yeah.
One, because we didn't talk about anything, any of the construction or items that we're doing that we're talking about that might not be ready at the beginning of school, that maybe we don't want to talk
Update on
about.
that, yeah.
I'm just wondering, usually when we get to this status, we're talking about things that might impact the kids when they go back to school.
So baseball field will be done in the fall,
Okay.
so no pressure on there.
Yeah.
Football press box should be up and in place by the time of the first football game. Hopefully deliver the week of August, the first week of August, and all that will get properly up there and ready to go. We have all the fiber in place to go to each one of those press boxes, so that will be easily connected. The track should be done the first week of August as well, being painted. It's curing at the moment, so that's going on. Boilers are being disassembled as we speak at the elementary. Those are not needed at this time, and hopefully not needed until December, but they will hopefully start installing the new ones this Wednesday. There's a lot of reconfiguring that needs to go on, but they're on track. Chillers are ordered. I asked about weekly the status of where those chillers are at, because we still go to the roof 2 or 3 times a day to make sure that they are functioning. So again, they have not a delivery date in play yet, so it may be a fall thing. There's a lot of things that we've been, I guess, knocking off the list that are small things, from repairing sinks around the buildings to little air handler units to freezing up units to just any little thing that I'm finding, which is helping our operations fund by using the bond fund to that. So when you talk that we still have 1.5 yet, that means it could be a big thing that we need to do, but there's somewhat of anticipation. Operation fund's gonna get hit in 2026 and again in 2027 and again in 2028 because of the current state budget cuts and the tax changes. So if we want to maintain paying our utilities, as Janet already kind of talked about, as a residential thing, as a corporate level, our electric bill is a lot and our water bill's a lot. And we just changed our waste management service to LAP instead of Republic to hopefully save some money there. So that 1.5 will help us sustain those things and still fix. I pray that we are in a very good spot at this point. We have spent a lot of money getting things updated out of the 1960s to the 2020s. So I feel like we're in good shape, and so hopefully that 1.5 will sustain those things. That's the plan.
and we've talked about that the last couple of years, right, is we had so many years where we could not maintain, that now it's like major expenses, but then we can get back on maintenance.
We will also be getting, the 300,000 back from CYC, because that building's not being built. So, where we head down that path, that was put into a CD, and once that CD is allowed to be released, they'll give the money back. I think it was a 9-month CD, so it should be like November, I think.
I will tell you, I do have a question into Baker Tilly. I'm not exactly sure if we're able to use that since that bond is completed. The deadline to use that money is completed. If we are able to use that for projects, or if I have to put it back in the debt fund to pay payments. So I have a question out to Baker Tilly for that.
Will you let us know the answer when you get it?
I would love to.
Thank you. Did you have number 2?
The number 2 was just, many of you that spoke earlier talked about the community, and I've been really excited when I look at social media and I'm reading things in the newspaper and stuff like that, that Culver Community has been, I mean, Mr. Bushman won the hot dog eating contest at Lake Fest, and Ava won Miss Max and Kentucky. So and I've been around to the Fulton County Fair, Marshall County, and Stark County. We had lots of students that attend Culver that got awards there. So just lots of good things in the community this summer. So I appreciate that you guys recognized it, because I do too, and I love that. It's awesome.
Thanks, Amy. Teresa, anything tonight?
Kind of a ditto.
Yeah, just really to echo comments already made, but thank you for the presentations tonight. Really great results. And I know this is just a small sample of the representative teacher staff at Culver, but thank you for your efforts. It's truly appreciated.
Just a few housekeeping things. So negotiations, discussion team will meet after this board meeting. So Jack and Matt are going to hang out. And then our first collective bargaining is on the 5th with CCTA. And then our next board meeting is the 3rd Monday of August. So we're still on the once a month summer schedule. So the 3rd Monday in August. And with that, meeting's adjourned.
What? You and Mr. Shirley, did you get a picture real quick?
Oh.
Hannah's not here, so I'll do the job.